And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We are talking, is this the beginning of the end of Red Bull after what was quite a disastrous, let's be fair, Monza performance where Max Verstappen finished a couple of seconds shy of 40 seconds off from the lead. Their worst performance since the new regulations in terms of where they finished. Yes, we had that double DNF at the beginning of 2022, but they were fast. Now, they're not. So what is it going on with Red Bull? Well, Toto Wolff's got something to say. This is from motorsport.com. And he said Red Bull's issues, he's kind of said they're really weird, but it could be just a blip with their loss of performance. He's warned, obviously, the rivals that you're going to write them off very much at their peril. Once again, really weird. He's praised Max Verstappen's individual ability. I mean, Max Verstappen has absolutely done gangbusters with that car to the point where I think very few other drivers on the grid, say from maybe Hamilton, could do what he's doing. Possibly Leclerc. I'm not sure about Norris and Piastri yet. But as we know, they set the pace earlier in the season and they're now struggling to compete at, essentially, the top of the field. Verstappen finishing 6th, having qualified 7th. And teammate Sergio Perez, being Sergio Perez. So as we know, McLaren updates are very much working. Ferrari's updates, maybe, along with Mercedes updates, again, maybe. But these updates are funny enough also keeping Ferrari and the lack of essentially raw pace are keeping Red Bull away from that Constructors' Championship. Now, Verstappen himself has said that this poor showing in Monza, it was not realistic for Red Bull to retain both crowns. I mean, hopefully he's just kind of like doing a Hamilton like he did after qualifying. I suck, essentially, if you read between the lines of what Hamilton said after Monza qualifying, which is kind of saying we suck, I imagine, with Verstappen's not realistic to retain both crowns. I don't think he's quite the pessimist, really. I mean, he's 62 points shy of the Dutchman, is Lando Norris in the driver's standings, and McLaren trailing by not too many in the Constructors. They're a lot closer. Now, Wolff, whose Mercedes squad, fought tooth and nail for supremacy in Red Bull in the past. For example, 2021, said it's been strange to see them lose pace. He said, it's really weird. I have no insight, obviously, he said, but that is not at all Red Bull at the start of the year. Dominant, he said. I think Max was able to keep it going for a while with his ability, but it seems now that the pace has gone from the sheer results, and that is what I see without understanding or knowing what is going on inside, because he's essentially saying it could be a blip. Yeah. So Red Bull, and this is what's interesting as well, I want to talk about. This is Planet F1. And it's saying Red Bull brace for the F1 2024 title defeat as the boss goes all in on Verstappen. At least this is a report from Planet F1. And it's got Red Bull have reportedly conceded. They've conceded defeat to McLaren in the Constructors' Championship, which is absolutely sensational. With a senior figure quoted as saying a fourth title for Max is all that counts. Now, is that the reason that is that fourth title really important, for example, for keeping Max Verstappen in the future? Now, having produced the most dominant season in history last year, 21 out of a possible 22 races, as Verstappen, he walked to that championship, and he, as opposed to maybe limping to this in 2022, it was a gentle jog at the end. But Red Bull were expected to crush the opposition, especially when you look to the first few races, but they're conceding defeats. So despite what was starting the season with 4 victories from the first 5 races, including 3, you heard it, 3 1-2 finishes for Verstappen and teammate Sergio Perez in Bahrain, Saudi Arabia and Japan, Red Bull have faded over the recent month. Everyone said it was kind of like from Miami onwards, from Lando Norris's first win. Now, Verstappen is without a win for the last 6 races, which is his longest since the 2020 season. His most recent victory drought occurring at the Spanish Grand Prix on June the 23rd. Now, 8 races remaining. Verstappen's lead over Lando Norris has been cut to 62 pounds, with Red Bull now just 8 ahead of McLaren in the Constructors' Championship. I can't believe that, 8 ahead of McLaren in the Constructors' Championship. Is that... No, I mean, that's just... I'm just perplexed. 8. So next weekend, Azerbaijan's Grand Prix could see Red Bull lose the lead of the Constructors' Championship for the first time since May 2022. Now, Red Bull's woes sound like Jonathan Wass. Red Bull's woes, that's so hard to say. They continued at last weekend's Grand Prix in Monza when they finished 37.9 seconds off the pace. So Verstappen went to sound the alarm, telling the media, including PlanetF1.com, where this article is, he said, at the moment, both championships are not realistic. We have to turn it around, and it's not easy to do that quickly. And then, if we can put that on the car, then it becomes more drivable. I've said it a lot, and now it's up to the team to come up with a lot of changes with the car, because we basically went from a very dominant car to an undrivable car in the space of 6 months. Kind of the opposite that McLaren did last year and this year, a very bad car to a very drivable car. And Max Verstappen went on to say, so that is very weird for me, and we need to really turn the car upside down. Obviously not literally. Now, according to Swiss publication Blick, a senior figure at Red Bull has already given up hope of McLaren's charge in the Constructors' Championship, with now focusing on defending Max Verstappen's title. A report quotes an unnamed individual described only as a member of Red Bull. He said, we can forget about this championship. All that counts now is Max's 4th title. That almost sounds like a Marco quote, doesn't it? I don't know, though. But speaking to the Dutch publication, Die Telegraaf, Helmut Marko, here we go, has pointed the RB20's weakness during the Italian Grand Prix, raising hopes that the team can bring a fix. So Red Bull know what they think they know what their weakness is. I have every confidence in Red Bull to bring it back. The issue is going to be, for the constructors, is once again Sergio Perez potentially. And the other issue is going to be, how many false dawns did we see Mercedes in 2022 and 2023 have? But we know Red Bull have got around these regulations before, haven't they? At the beginning of the year. But Max has recognised on Saturday where the weakness of the car is. Together with the engineers, a decision was made on how to improve the car and make it competitive again. We just need to find out which part made the car worse. If we knew that, we wouldn't be in this situation. Now, Verstappen's father, Jos, has been a vocal critic of the team's mid-season slump and revealed ahead of Monza that his son had raised concerns over the balance, even during Red Bull's strong start to the season. No, he said they should take a good look in the mirror. Max knew this was coming. He just didn't have a chance, he said. The way it's going, the rest of this year is going to be really tough. Says the multiple race... Oh, no, never mind. But says Jos. I don't... Obviously, he really cares about Max. Now, he's successful. Should he just... Shh? Though I can't help but think maybe is he butting his nose in a bit too much? Obviously, he's got... I'd like to think the best interests of Max at heart. So apparently, according to Marco, though, there's no truth to the claim that Red Bull slump is due to Newey's exit. So in the news roundup, this is on Race Fans. Helmut Marko, a consultant at Red Bull, he denies any connection between Chief Technical Officer Adrian Newey's departure and their slump, even though it happened at the same time. He said, of course, there is an opinion amongst fans that our relapse has something to do among our fans. With Adrian Newey's departure, and he told Speedweek. But that's not true, because Newey was no longer involved with the details of the vehicle development in the spring. What cannot be denied, of course, is that Newey is Newey, a man with incredible experience, and that has always distinguished him. But our problem lies elsewhere, which is, I guess, fair enough. What is Red Bull's big problem then? It might be a bunch of things. With Newey gone, maybe Adrian Newey could have told him not to go in that direction. Absolutely. So, yes, it may well be down to Newey. Maybe their wind tunnel and the correlation is not that great. That's something that Mercedes found, and that's something that McLaren found, I think, at the beginning of last year, as well, when they admitted that their car had gone in the wrong direction, and when they got rid of James Key. But I think Red Bull can give a smile and hope that their biggest team, their biggest rival this year, McLaren, the Papaya team, have turned it around as well within 6 months. And that's certainly something that Red Bull essentially, in last year, they turned it around with one big upgrade package in Austria and were really, really fast and took the lead, for example, at Silverstone. And Red Bull are coming from a position, I think, that's less tenuous in terms of they have less... I do believe they've got a good solid car, so they've got less time to find than McLaren did. So absolutely they can. And I kind of think also the other teams, Ferrari, Mercedes, and in particular McLaren, because they're the ones looking at the Constructors' Championship, in particular McLaren, need to maybe make hay while the sun shines. Because if Red Bull do come back, it could be really, really embarrassing. I mean, we've already spoken about the Drivers' Championship and the fact that McLaren are kind of seemingly doing their best to absolutely throw away the Drivers' Championship. Yeah, it is somewhat, I don't know. It's kind of bad, isn't it? I'm just trying to find out the actual constructors, the F1 constructor standings, to see how close it really is, and then share it with you guys. I have no idea. Yeah, it is just 8 points. I can't believe it. Okay, let's share the screen with you. I mean, when we look at the constructor standings, we've got Red Bull on 446. McLaren, Mercedes on 438 points behind. And let's be fair, within 40 points now is Ferrari on 407. There is a chance Mercedes ain't catching them, I don't think, unless they like 1-2s all around. But there is a universe, surely there's a parallel universe where Red Bull have the potential to finish third. Could it be this universe, the multiverse of F1? There is. So when you look at it, if Ferrari keep on outscoring Red Bull, they, with 8 races left, they could very much beat Red Bull as well in the constructors, which will kind of be a bit embarrassing. The plus point for Red Bull is, yes, they're going to get more wind tunnel time. They're going to get more wind tunnel time, aren't they? But still, Red Bull looking very, very tenuous. Is this year the beginning of the end? With everything that's gone wrong for Red Bull, with Adrian Newey leaving, with Jonathan Wheatley leaving, 2 massive people at Red Bull, with WhatsAppgate and the Christian Horner scandal. Is that the reason why also people left? People apparently leaving a lot. Their new engine program not particularly being very good. People potentially being split because Christian Horner, yes, Christian Horner didn't want Porsche's 50-50, which I kind of understand. You don't want someone to have equal control to you if you are a Formula One team. But was there any other way to negotiate that to make it better? Who knows? I really hope this is not the beginning of the end for Red Bull, at least their competitiveness for the short term. Only time will tell, but they still have. I mean, they know they can build a good car. They won nearly every race but one last year. They've got Max Verstappen, a 3-time champion, possibly soon to be 4 times. There is a slight question mark there, but they're against McLaren, who really need to I think at this point they need to put their eggs in one basket. So it is somewhat tenuous for Red Bull. Absolutely it is. Anyway, if you like what you see, please give us a subscribe. That would be great. Hit the notification button if you do not want to miss a video. And we'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much. Hit the outro button. And there we go.